Ladies and gentlemen, this is the voice of the UWE, Jack Thomas, and we want to welcome you to the official Proving Ground Stand Your Ground pre-show live spectacular. Like I said, Jack Thomas here, and I got some wonderful guests here tonight. I got Tony Tiger, the host of Tiger Talks Wrestling podcast. I got the general manager of Proving Ground. I got none other than Yankee, and of course, I got H2 here with me as well. And last but not least, Jay Joker Designs himself, and we're going to give you some predictions, and we're going to answer a lot of questions as far as your concerns, your questions, and your comments for Proving Ground's first ever live spectacular Stand Your Ground.
Well, that was great. That was great,
Thank
bro.
you very much.
I can't even do it better my damn self. Everybody, hands up for Jack Thomas.
Hey,
yes.
Yes.
See, Dale never gave me a round of applause. He just thought he was carrying the show. Hell of a guy. Gotta love DALE. But nevertheless, let's start it with the GM. I mean, I remember what it was like when the UWE first aired Flirting with Fire, which was our first pay-per-view. Our first live spectacular. How do you feel now? This is your creation. This is, you looked at this overall, and you come up with the final stand, you come up with the final judgment call, the Gavel's call, as we like to call it, and now look at it. Now you are on your first live spectacular, and you got a hell of a card. You got a lot of good matches here. What's going through your mind?
Well, very, very simple, man. I wanted to give the opportunity for newer guys to show out and be able to show their skills but I didn't do this alone. Of course, I had Cameron Jackson with me that was helping me a lot in the beginning. Great guy, by the way. Shout outs to him for helping me develop this platform for these guys. Now, this is our second. I got to correct you there. This is our second mega event. So this is the first one of the 2018. Now, this right here is going to close season 1. We're going to be doing shows by seasons now. So this right here will close season 1, and we'll start fresh from scratch next season. Now, the very first show the next season will be Road to Legends. That will be the big mega event. Now, that's a plug of the show right now. Season is going to start fresh and hot. But I mean, I gotta give it up to the guys, because if it wasn't for the guys wrestling on this show would not be possible.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great way to look at it. When I look at Proving Grounds, I see the future. Sometimes I like to make comparisons here. I see the NXT of backyard wrestling, because that this is the future. There's going to be certain individuals within backyard wrestling that are going to decide to move on, whether it's going into the independent scene, whether they're moving on with their personal lives. These group of individuals, you could be talking about Victor Van Pelt, you could be talking about Hellhound, you could be talking about Ustalo, Revan, Owen Devine, all these guys. They really have an arsenal to their moveset that is very unique, and it stands out from the group, but also their characters are very original, and everybody has their own individual persona, which is going to get this federation very far. Tony, I mean, you've been watching Proving Grounds as well, and you've had a good number of people on your show, including that of, some Proving Grounds individuals. What is your first thoughts? What are your thoughts as far as Stand Your Ground and this big breaking point, not breaking point, but really Proving Ground reaching a glass ceiling and shattering it? That's
definitely the way I would put it. It's just amazing the things that you guys have done there in Proving Grounds, in my opinion. Something that we haven't really seen in backyard wrestling in any way, shape, or form before. And like you said, I would compare it to NXT. If you want to make a comparison, you just see so many different guys that show up there and they're putting in their 100%. And even 110% for some of them. And these are guys that you're not seeing really anywhere else. So it's a great platform, in my opinion. And I'm pretty sure this show is going to be a standout show for Proving Ground altogether.
Yeah, definitely. H2, do you have any comments for that? I mean,
oh yeah. A lot of people don't know I have my hand in Proving Ground. I'm one of the editors, producers. Mickey Matthews, one of my best friends, is the host in the beginning of Proving Ground. And I mean, I've watched I get to see the episodes before anybody else, but Mickey Matthews and Yankee have kept this very, very private. And just based off of what I've seen, I love Proving Ground. Proving Ground, you guys compared it to NXT. I compare it to the Indies. You never know who's going to pop up, man. And the fact that Yankee just picks these dudes that, like, don't get that, like, platform. They're not up on, like, VTW or some of the places that have, like, the big views and subscriber counts. And you give them a place, and, like, they've made it, like, their own.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I remember when the UW really broke out, and the big places to be were actually, this was before even VTW. This was the time of HBTW, which, if you don't know, that was the federation with Corey Graves, Jason Walker, and Chris Payne, and then also KBW was pretty much just cooling down after their high, and obviously that was with Cage, AK-47, Big Time Mike. And now, and then we moved into the next era, which was the UWE, VTW, APW era. That was in 2015. Now it seems like with BEW New York, which eventually now is NUW, is on the rise. Now comes Proving Grounds. And this, to me, is like the new level. This is going to be the new set of competition. And even though it's an upstart show, even though this is a show to bring on future talent, it is a top-notch brand, and it's going to compete with a lot of federations, including that of VTW, the uprise, the rebirth of the UWE, and DBW as well. And hell, more than anybody, more than anyone, I think they're competing with is with NUW, because I think they're going to find a way to one-up each other, and it's gonna make for. Put it like this: if you're VTW, look out. If you're UW, look out. If you're DB, anyone outside of the confines of Newburgh, it's going to be difficult, because these guys are putting on a hell of a show, and it's definitely going to make UW's job a lot harder to compete with them as well. And now, especially with this, with this epidemic with Stand Your Ground, it's going to be amazing. Last but not least, Jay Joker. I mean, you've been around pretty much as long as I have with BYW. You really broke out onto the scene at Ultimate Redemption 2014, and you've made logos and you've made graphics for many federations. How do you feel about Proving Grounds? What makes them different from the rest of the pack?
Well, what makes Proving Grounds so different is exactly all the reasons that you guys stated. But most importantly, I feel like it gives the underappreciated talents, it gives them a platform, and to show them why they feel unappreciated, and they get to express a new side of themselves, get to outreach to a new crowd and everything. But overall, I love seeing, people breaking out. Like, I'm going to be completely honest. I wasn't too familiar with people like Damon Scar, Devin James, or Zach Webb, or any talents, honestly, outside of New York or North Carolina for that matter. But Proving Ground, like, kind of expanded my knowledge, and it's like, I looked at Damon Scar and I was like, okay, I want to learn more about him. So I watched a couple episodes of where he was competing in. I watched that Fatal 4-Way he was in with Jason Atlas and everything. And overall, I just thought it was, I feel Proving Ground gives an opportunity to those that feel like they want the opportunity to get to new heights and new balance.
Oh yeah, I mean, I completely agree with you. Also, one thing that I love about Proving Ground is that these guys love what they do. These guys have the passion for what they do. These guys come here and they drive for hours and hours on end to make it to Proving Ground, and they love what they do, man. It's all about bringing fun back to BYW and the community. You're not going to, everybody could say it. I'm not here to talk about other companies like that, but there's a lot of egos and stuff like that go around. My company's the best. My company this. My company that, and that's all fine and dandy. At the end of the day, this is about fun. This is about having fun and bringing the love to BYW like it used to be. I mean, when I started in BYW, it was very fun. Now is everybody's competing, and we're not looking to compete with anybody in any level. We are looking to have fun. We are looking to make a name for ourselves, and we are looking to enjoy the ride, because from the beginning has been a ride. You know, it started in hot. You know what I mean? And he's only getting better and better. You know, we got guys that are established already in the community that do come and perform because you know, they want that feel, fresh, you know, fresh meat, fresh people. I want to be able to get my hands on some new guys, you know what I mean? And, you know, I mean, it started off with Dustin, you know, Dustin showed up, Dustin Reagan. And next thing you know, people just like, I want to be there, you know what I mean? And it was awesome. It was awesome to see a vet come over here to Proving Ground and, you know, show everybody that this is, you know, the new brand to look out, you know, for and stuff like that.
Now, if I could piggyback a little bit off of what Jack mentioned earlier, seeing the guys in Proving Ground kind of compete a little bit with NUW, we have seen some of the guys from Proving Ground show up in NUW recently, and they've made a little bit of a splash there as well. So,
yeah, and that's the point. You know, the point is they come to Proving Ground to branch out. You know, the doors are open and it's a round door. You know, it swings. It just keeps on swinging. People come in and people go out. And it's kind of like a repetitive thing, you know. You have to move on in order to make room for new people, you know.
Right.
And that's what's happening at the moment. You know, there's people that are going to be staying for good, and there's people that are going to be moving on and going on to bigger, better things. You know,
that kind of goes with H2's statement, like comparing it to the independent federations. Like, you know, you never know who's going to show up. You know, it's kind of like you're not tied down to anybody, and that's something very different about Proving Ground. I know that I know that UWE and NUW superstars many times will intertwine. You'll see the likes of either Yankee or Novin in the UWE, or you'll see, you know, Rick Rios or Everett Creed or Lips or TJ Sakara on NUW, but you don't really see that too much. And it gets, you know, it's like you don't see that really, especially when you talk about like either DBW or VTW or really anything like that, because they're more exclusive in certain ways, unless it's considered a crossover situation. But with Proving Ground, it's very different, and it's the whole format is very unique.
And you know what it is, that's the format of the revolving door. You know, that door is always open, and it's always open for people to come in and get out, and it's one of those things that, you know, it's like, you know, NLBW, unfortunately, they saw their end. And I didn't want it to end. I told, like, they're a perfect example because I didn't want NLBW to end. They just, you know, it was such a good, you know, company and filled with great talent. And why have it end just because, you know, they can't be back there no more. You know what I mean? So, you know, talking to Evan Blake and talking to all of them, I was able to get a hold of them and bring them in. And you got guys now, like, look at Brandon Castelli. You know, one day he was in NLBW, the next time he's in VTW, you know, reunion.
Right.
So, you know, this is, it all started, it was all possible because Proving Ground, you know, him coming over here and having that revolving door effect, you know, where he could come here and branch out to other places.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's what's so lovely about Proving Ground, that you're able to branch out and you're not tied down. Here in Proving Ground, I don't want anybody thinking that they're tied down. Whoever's here is here because they want to be here. You know, if they want to one day branch out and go there, you know, to another company, and that's perfectly fine. In fact, there is guys in Proving Ground that wrestle in multiple companies. And but they always make time to come to Proving Ground because this is where they got exposure. This is where they were seen as more than just a secondary or more than just a nobody, you know?
Yeah, no, definitely. With that being said, I mean, are you guys ready to go over the official match card for Stand Your Ground?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Oh, yeah.
All right. With that being said, I think whoever's in charge of the match cards here, let's take it to the first match.
That is me. So please forgive me. You are going to see more than the first match. You're going to see a little preview of the other ones as well.
Oh, that's quite all right. There we go.
So there you go.
Boom, bada boom. Here we go. All right. We got an interesting one here. We got Damon Scar himself against David Lowell. Yankee, why don't you kick it off here? Take it away.
All right, man. It's very simple, man. I got a hold of David Loel, man, and he explained to me how how he really liked the concept of Proving Ground and how he wanted to be a part of something that he knew in his heart that it was going to be a big deal. And I talked to him, and I was able to get him into the roster, and breaking the fourth wall a little bit, the kayfabe, a little bit. I was able to get him into the roster, and I was able to have him take a look of what I was basically cooking. And he said, "Damn, man, that smells good, man. That smells good. I want it. I want in." And next thing you know, he goes and cuts a promo, and of course. Wrong place, wrong time for Damon Scar. He just happens to, and he you don't want to. First of all, when you have somebody like David go into the ring, and he wants to express himself, you don't want to interrupt this man. This man is somebody that's been out there long. He's somebody that's been on groups like the Top Guns. He's been out there. He knows his share of things. And Damon Scar interrupting him, it was like a slap to the face on David Loel, because he's here to do what he loves. And Damon Scar showing up and acting the way he acted, and coming at his face like that, bro. Like, I would have done the same thing if you asked me. But I got to give it up to Damon, though, because Damon, he had the balls to go face to face with David and cut him off. I tell you, man.
Yeah, it was. I watched. That was back on episode 6 of Proving Grounds, and I just on Proving Grounds, excuse me. And you gotta expect two things, whether you're the veteran or the newcomer. When you're the veteran, in this case, David, you gotta expect somebody. You can't really just let's be real here. You can't expect to just have this announcement and have it non-interrupted. Whether you're just whether you could be doing an open challenge, you could be calling someone out, or you could just be talking about how it's good to be here and things are going to change around here. Someone's going to come out and someone's going to try to make a name for themselves at your expense. Whether it's a new upcoming superstar trying to just, get on that higher platform, or whether it's a personal vendetta. And Loel, he's dealt with that before. This isn't his first time. The personal vendetta, it's like right now he's going through a lot of things. Loel's got, some other stuff going on, whether it be with Sweet 16 or other, you said he was in the Top Guns. That was a big thing. He's a big-time veteran. So, of course, Damon Scar is going to, he's going to find an opportunity, and he seized it. And the thing is that, yeah, he definitely got kicked in the face for it, and that's the thing the newcomer's got to expect. You got to expect the veteran to retaliate because of the experience factor. So you got to know exactly what you're getting yourself into. And you know what? This match is now going to happen. Let's start with H2. Who do you think is in favor of walking out of this match victorious?
Man, Damon Scar, I haven't, kind of like Jay was saying earlier, haven't seen a whole lot about him, or seen a lot of him, but I know that he's hungry, and I can tell he wants like a big time W. But as you guys mentioned, David Loel has the experience factor. So in my opinion, David Loel's got this one in the bag.
You got David Loel. There you go. Let's take it to Jay Joker. Who do you got?
Well, going off of my lovely friend H2, Scar is hungry, and I think he bit off more than he can chew with this one. So I'm thinking David Loel.
There you go. Yankee, what do you got?
I don't know, man. I love David Loel, man. He's an awesome guy, awesome competitor. But you got Damon Scar that wants to make a name for himself and wants to be able to step up to a veteran and show why he belongs. And because you got to realize, Proving Ground is a show where new guys get exposed. You know what I mean? So to have a vet come into the company and want to showcase their talent when their talent has been already showcased in multiple platforms, it's like taking time from the new guys. So I don't know if I feel like if Damon Scar has the drive, he could take it. He could take it to David, and who knows?
Yeah, Tony, who do you have?
All right. So first of all, both these guys are really hungry and really have a lot on their plates, if you want to be honest, with things that are going on in their careers. It'd be a huge win for Damon Scar if he could manage to pull it out here to get the win over a veteran like David Lowell, as you guys were mentioning. But to me, it just comes down to that veteranness pretty much. In the end, I think David's just going to manage to edge out the victory in that one. But I could see this one being a show stealer.
Absolutely. That could really take the cake. For me, I got to say, I was, the veteran experience of David Lowell, he's a tremendous performer, and he's got a real amount of tenure on him. And then Damon, he's just odd. He's got a gothic style to him that is very unique. Really, really odd. The between the sagging jaw lines and then just the eeriness of when you see him come out to the ring, you see that bleach blonde hair. It's like just something you would see out of a. He looks like one of those guys that you would see in a cult, and that's the feeling I get from Damon. And I'm going to predict. Oh man, well, I'll tell you what. If nothing else was happening in the world and this was the only thing that was existing, David Lowell has this. But I'm going to tell you why Damon Scar is going to come out victorious. Lowell has got himself in too many situations at once. He's got himself in the midst of a situation which could end up, it's a little ember, but it's going to start up boiling with D-Lock. He got brutally assaulted at the slaughterhouse by Everett Creed, and it looks like the Murder Club wants revenge. He's got so many things going on with himself right now. He's getting pulled in 3 different directions, and it's going to be too much for Lowell to handle. And I do think, whether it's intentional or not, Scar's going to take advantage of the fact that he's just getting pulled apart in too many things. And I noticed that because I saw that Black Toad Splash shirt, and it reminded me of everything that Lowell's got going right now. And I really think Scar is looking at this as a bigger opportunity than David Lowell is. And that, for me, is why I think Damon Scar is going to walk out victorious.
I kind of have to agree with you 100% on that. Well, not 100. I'll say about 90. But you cannot count out Lowell's experience. It's kind of like if you coop up, if you put a dog into like a box, eventually he'll find his way out. And David Lowell is just like that. You could put him into a corner, and he's just so slick that he might be able to pull it off. You know what I mean? And this has this has nothing to do with age or who's older or no. This has just mental experience alone. You know what I mean? It's called awareness of wrestler awareness. David has it. And I don't know if Damon is aware of his surroundings at all time like David is. So David might be able to pull it out the bag. But and also you never know. Damon Scar can walk out, winner. I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. Are we ready to move on to the next match, you guys?
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Let's take it to the next match.
No, that's not the next match. That's the next match.
All right, here we go. This one's pretty serious. All right, we got Hellhound versus Ustalo. Hellhound has really broke onto the scene, and he's really made a name for himself in Proving Ground more than anywhere else. And a lot of people will remember him for what he's done in, the reunion series of VTW, but he's really broke out here at Proving Grounds, and it seems to have gotten the attention of the Phoenix. And Ustalo also has really broke out as a big-time player because of what he did at Endgame, saving the UWE from Everett Creed and the Stark Supremacy. And Ustalo is at an all-time high right now. Even though Everett Creed costed him the Underground Championship, he's really – and I think that really fueled his fire, and that's why he took out – he's starting to take it out now, and he's starting to take it out on Hellhound. He's got some sort of personal vendetta, and he looks to settle it in this 2 out of 3 falls match. And that's another thing you got to look at too. You got to look at 2 out of 3 falls. That plays a huge factor into who's going to win this match. We're going to do this reverse time. So we went left to right, so we're going to go right to left. So Tony, we're going to start with you. Who do you think is going to walk out of this one as the victor?
So first of all, my thought on it is that it's going to go all 3 falls. So let's start with that one. Just for partially, again, the experience factor, he's got just a little bit more, I think, Ustalo does. They're kind of neck and neck, because Hellhound did start around the same time, I believe. It was in KWA or ECW at the time. Might have been a little later. But I still, just the role that Ustalo's been on lately in Proving Ground and in UWE, I think I got to give Ustalo the win on this one.
Ustalo, yeah. Ustalo is definitely, definitely a top player. Yankee, who do you think is going to, who do you think is going to come out in this one?
Well, the situation is this. I don't think this have to do anything with where they've been. I think it's just pure jealousy on Ustalo's part. I really do. If you go back to the episode, there was a saying that he said, there was a quote. He said, it only took you a couple of months for you to win your first title, and it took me years to win mine. That right there just states that this man doesn't care about Hellhound. He knows he got it in the bag, but I feel like he's just doing it out of spite. He's doing it because Hellhound accomplished something that he couldn't accomplish on his first year on UWE. You get what I'm saying?
Mm.
And I feel he's just out of spite. And again, there it goes. There's a revolving door. Ustalo brought his UWE past to Proving Ground, and he wants to make a statement on that point. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So, I mean, and if I could pick anybody, I have won one-on-one before with Hellhound, and he is a strong little guy. Like he might be small, but he's a fucking fighter, man. And I really feel like Hellhound might have this in the bag. But you got to realize he does have a previous leg injury thanks to Ustalo.
Sure.
So I don't know how. I don't know if that's going to work. I don't know if that's going to work against them. But
how serious is that injury? Like how major is that injury to Hellhound?
Well, the injury, was caused by Usti on his debut. He attacked the leg. He continued to attack the leg. Every time that they meet, he attacks the same leg. And I know for a fact that Hellhound might not show it and might not want to show it, but I know he's hurting. You know what I mean?
No, he is not 100%. He's definitely not going to be 100%. I'm just wondering if he's going to be 90%, 80%, or if he's going to be anything less.
I'm going to be completely honest with you. I mean, if I could call it from experience, I think he's maybe 60%. He's not really all the way up there. You know what I mean? I feel like he came back too early. We advised him not to. But on his defense, he wanted this match. He wanted to do it as well. He wanted to put an end to this. And I can't say no to the man. You know what I mean? So I gave it to him, but I don't think he's full. I don't think he's ready. I really don't. I don't think he's ready fully recover for this match.
Absolutely. Jay Joker Designs, who do you see in this match?
So I'm taking all points into consideration. I'm taking both what Yankee has said and Tony. The main thing I have to focus on is there's one big aspect of this match, and it's been stated, and that's jealousy. But you know what happens when people are blinded by jealousy?
What is that?
They get desperate, but they make mistakes. And I have a feeling those mistakes will cost Ustalo this match. I do agree that's going to go all 3 falls. But are you ready for pun number 1 of tonight?
Oh, here we go.
There is a big underdog in this match, and his name is the Hellhound.
Yeah, that's wow. When you said pun, I was almost certain that you were going to make it about the Flame Boy here. It's like
no, that's too easy. That's too easy. Plus,
you wanted to challenge yourself.
Blah blah. Yeah.
Yeah, that well, you know what? I mean, Ustalo's been given many names. He's been given the Pyromaniac, the Phoenix. Hell, he's been called Charmander. And it's like but you know what?
Yeah.
Don't take that lightly. The same with me wearing my beautiful Gengar hat. Don't take that lightly because there's a young kid there's a young kid from Iowa that comes out to a Pokemon song. It goes by the name of Spencer Lee, and he's going for the NCAA wrestling championship, and he's undefeated right now. So you gotta take that into consideration. Ustalo is a tough player, and when he wants something, he will get it. He has a drive like no one else. H2, who do you have? Going in. Who do you have in favor of this match?
You mentioned Ustalo's riding a high right now after saving UWE, and it seems as if over the past few episodes here on Proving Ground, he's gotten a little bit arrogant, and he's a little cocky, and I think Hellhound's going to surprise him.
Yeah, that's a good.
I believe it.
I strongly believe
look at it. His victory over Everett Creed, and then especially when Creed comes out with Stark and you get a win on that, the ego's really going to build in with Ustalo, and I've been noticing it, especially when he confronted Hellhound on episode 6. So it's like there's something building here. As far as I'm concerned, Hellhound's going to try to end this one fast because this injury could overcome him. And I'll tell you this: if this match goes under 10 minutes. If this match goes under 10 minutes, then I'm going to say Hellhound is the victor. 15 minutes, it looks like it could be anybody. If it goes over 15 minutes, this is Ustalo's match. And this is normally I would go against that because Hellhound is the one with the faster pace. He's got more stamina than Ustalo has. He uses that speed advantage, that unpredictability. And I feel like in a regular case, the longer this match would go, the more it would favor Hellhound. But the thing is, thanks to Ustalo injuring that leg, Hellhound's not 100%. So he's going to try to wrap this up as soon as possible. But he can't do that with one fall. He needs to do that with 2. So if you want my honest opinion, if Ustalo can get him down for 1 fall, he'll get him down for a second. So my opinion is this. If the first fall goes to Ustalo, Ustalo will win this match. But if Hellhound is victorious, it's going to be a clean sweep. And that's my prediction. Which one out of those two do I think is more plausible? I think Ustalo has got that situation where his arrogant, even though he injured Hellhound, I'm still going to go with Hellhound. Mainly because I feel like Ustalo, kind of like the same situation as Lowell, getting dragged apart, Ustalo's got a lot of things on his mind. But I think he's more concerned with Hellhound than many things else. So I don't know. This one's got me stumped. And this one's really got me, I really don't know who's going to come out victorious. If anything, this might even be Ustalo's match. Maybe, I think I'm going to change my pick. I think I'm going to go with Ustalo, mainly because he is driven in this match. And I think he's really trying to make a statement. And when he's driven to get something, he'll get it. So I'm going to go with Ustalo on this one.
Hey, Jack, I'm going to interrupt you for a second, but this match sure does spark your interest, doesn't it?
Oh, shut up. All right, moving on.
Hold on. Listen. I just want to say something real quick. I really feel like Hellhound might walk out the victor in this match. And I tell you why. Because Hellhound is a kid, man, that he has gone through hell and back literally in every company that he wrestles in because of his size alone. This kid, a lot of people say he couldn't make it. A lot of people say he couldn't make it to DBW, and he's there. Make it to Proving Ground, and he's there. Make it to NUW, and he's on his way, and I'm pretty sure he has been there. So, this is a kid that is constantly improving, but this injury might cost him.
Yeah, I would agree. I've been a huge supporter of Hellhound over the first few episodes of Proving Ground. I said that personally on Twitter, I said that I thought he had some of the best matches that we've seen on the first couple of episodes of Proving Ground. But still, like you said, Yankee, the injury, just to me, that's going to be his downfall in the long run.
The scary thing about Hellhound, that he has so many more years left. Look at his age, and that really plays a factor with he's got so many more years ahead of him. Ustalo right now is probably just hitting his prime, which is another reason why I favor Ustalo. But Hellhound is still young and he's fresh. Either way, and I will say this, Hellhound's going to try to get the pinfall within the first 2 minutes. He's going to try to roll him up real quick and get that quick advantage, and that is my prediction. If there's any prediction I have, he's going to try to roll him up within the first 2 minutes. Alrighty. You guys ready to move on?
Mind if I read something off the chat here real quick first?
Oh yeah,
yeah. Bring in the comments, man.
I'll get the third
Got
one.
a couple people in there that said a couple things, so as you're getting through there. First of all, hey fellas, this is Arnold. Says Danger Ground is going to be the bomb.com. Ain't no doubt about it. Can't wait to see the show, and I'm here to say that I'll be there to call as much action as I can.
Whoa, hold on. I was just on the phone with him, and he said I was the bomb.com. I thought that was special to me. That was supposed to be special. Apparently, he says that to everybody else.
Hey,
Apparently.
Jack,
Pretty
I hate
much,
to interrupt
pretty
you,
much.
but he just said that to me last week. So
Damn.
he's
Damn.
And I thought I was the only one.
You
gotta realize he say that to anybody because Arnold is the type of man that he's married to this girl named Trishelle. Well, he goes to the casino and blows all his money on the fucking casino. Comes home to Trishelle with no diapers, no baby food. he his ass is finna get his eye patch out of the fucking house.
Oh man, it's like
So should he sleep with one eye open? Because he's only got one.
Yeah, he should.
Good one, JJ.
Just switch the eye patch, I guess.
One
side to another.
I'm sorry, Arnold. I love you.
Good to see a
Says
little.
he's walking away quietly.
Hey, listen, Arnold, I gotta give it up to you. This man ended Jason Walker's streak.
Yes.
All right.
No, we are not starting that now.
Damn it, Arnold.
We are going
Maybe
to. I'm
that
gonna bring it up, Arnold. Let me tell you what, boy. You're cooler. You're cooler than mac and cheese with cream cheese in it. All right. I tell you what. You ended Jason Walker's streak, man. That is big, bro. Pat in the back for you.
Is that the cause of his reality? This whole reality breakdown is because Arnold ended the streak, and now it looks like Creed's got him in some sort of isolated confines, and it all rooted from when Arnold was driven through the table with them on it. Arnold is the cause of all evil. He's the root of all evil.
You could say whatever you want. The man broke the streak.
Agreed.
Arnold broke the streak, and now we're gonna have to. And Creed and Walker, it looks like they're gonna have a war. And who's the root of all that evil? Arnold McDonald, ladies and gentlemen. Good Lord. And damn well he's gonna call. Moving on.
I know how to keep Arnold up tonight. TJ Sakara's coming after you.
Yeah,
Oh man.
Sakara's coming for you. Okay, I think I just made him shoot his pants.
You better sleep with your only eye open, bitch.
Oh my God. Your only eye. Come on. That really happened too. Oh goodness. All right. So ladies and gentlemen, up next we got Striker versus Genovese. I mean, I think we're gonna go middle this one. So we're gonna start this one with the GM. Yankee, what do you think about these guys here?
Man, once close friends, not no longer. I mean, I've known them both from a while now, and Genovese actually debuted, and I didn't even know that he was playing mind games with Striker, because after the match that he debuted on, I don't know if you remember, he debuted against Genocide. They were, backstage, they were, talking to each other like it was normal. You know what I mean? It was like a regular business situation, and they were talking to each other like nothing was wrong. But the fact that Genovese was able to carry his whole plan to perfection bothered me, because if this man was to keep this, and nobody freaking noticed, nobody in the locker room noticed that this man was plotting against his own best friend, Striker. So I was shocked. I'm still shocked. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I totally get what you mean. It's like it's one of those. It's very unfortunate when you get those betrayals. And it happens a lot. It happens many times where a group of you think a group of individuals are standing tall, and they're looking authority they're looking authority in the face, and then your best buddy grabs a chair and swings it across the other's back, and it's like. And this is another thing with a lot of the times where two best buddies just kind of either whether it's slow and it's mending and it's gradual or whether it's abrupt and it's fast. Anytime there's a split, one member of that tag team or one member of that friendship will go on into superstardom and the other goes through a barbershop window. So, and it looks like it's going to be, the question is that which one of those two is it going to be? You look at any partnership, any friendship, any tag team, look at the Miz and John Morrison, look at Black and White, Rick Rios, even though Cam said I'm out, Rick beat the holy hell out of him at Broken Glory, and Cam hasn't been seen in the UWE ever since, and I don't think we'll see him again. And that was all due to Rick Rios. Is Genovese going to look to do the same thing to Stryker? Is he going to strike him out of Proving Grounds?
And you also got to realize one thing. How is Stryker's mental state at the moment? Do you think he's 100% mentally after you spent all these years with this guy that you thought he was your best friend, and he's helping you plot against TJ Sakara just to find out that Genovese, your right-hand man, is the one pulling the strings on this mind game situation? You know what I mean? You got to see it like that. How is his mental state? Is he going to be able to perform and think straight in the match? Is that going to cost him the match against his what was called best friend, JJ Genovese?
It's like I know it's backyard wrestling, and there's a saying that goes, for the pros, and it's that you can make friends or you can make money. But damn, this is not about money. This is obviously got to be some sort of personal vendetta. Maybe it's just that need to move your friend to the side because backyard wrestling superstardom means that much more to you. Either way, this is the case scenario, and now this is what's going to happen. So H2, I'm going to start with you real quick. Who do you think is, what do you think of the situation, and who do you think is going to come out on top?
Man, the situation it sucks having somebody that's like, he's your best friend and your right-hand man, like you said, just stab you in the back. To me, Stryker, he's a really tough dude. And I don't know, I see Stryker just going crazy, going ham, and taking a W here tonight against JJ.
You got to see his mental state. Like, what about his mental state? Is he even going to be ready to put his best friend down? You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. Stryker is a guy that's been here since day one. Right. You know what I'm saying? And Genovese just came in, you know what I mean? But the situation, you could see it both ways. Genovese could be saying, how come it was Stryker and not me? You know what I mean? I've been a world champion in other companies. How come Stryker gets the chance but not me? You know what I mean? So, exactly. So I feel like this is, his mental games towards Stryker it might cost Stryker the match. You know what I mean? You got to kind of see it like how mentally is he prepared to deal with his best friend? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got to agree, but also, you got to play experience factor. I remember a couple years ago, and I had the honor to call this match. It was Dirty DeChico against his brother, Dirty Dave. And Dave turned on his own brother, his own flesh and blood, because he was envious about how Dirty DeChico rose to superstardom while Dave sat back and, pretty much stayed injured. And they had a match at Redemption. But the thing is, DeChico was the one that had more experience throughout that year, and he turned out to be the winner. And honestly, when it comes to that, I think Stryker does have an advantage, but I don't know. Genovese, this could be Genovese's breaking moment, but I will say this. If Stryker wins, what's left for Genovese?
Can I point something out real quick?
Yes. Oh, yeah, of course.
just point something out. We want to talk about experience, right? You want to talk about years in BYW. You want to talk about experience. How many times has Striker been a world champion?
0.
0.
Mhm.
0. Genovese have been world champion. He's been up there. He's been to the top. He knows what it takes to be on the top and stay on the top. You know what I mean? And you have a guy that has been world champion and have all this experience in BYW and finally comes to Proving Ground and clinches to his best friend for just a little bit longer until he could actually, boom, break out. This man Genovese all the way, bro. He's going to kill Striker.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And it's like, especially, and this is the issue, but this is the difference between the Genovese Striker situation from the one I mentioned was Dave turned on him, but Dave was a crazy drunk. He was a redneck. He didn't, he wasn't really thinking clearly. And it seems like Genovese, like you said, was pulling the strings. So, yeah, I think I'm going to have to favor Genovese on this as well. Especially, you got to look at the mental state. The mental state really is going to play a factor in this match. Goddamn Don West, because I love him. But Jay Joker, what do you think?
I think he does look like to Don West. There.
It's like Don West.
But if you want me to be perfectly honest, now that Striker knows who's been behind this, he has a way to direct his anger. The fact that this is a match is very beneficial to Striker because now he can do whatever the hell he wants to do in the ring to Genovese. I have a feeling that Striker is going to beat the high holy piss out of JJ Genovese for the betrayal. So overall, I think Smitty Balls will win this match.
Wow, that's an interesting pick. Last but not least, Tony.
I'm the only one that caught that, right? I'm the only one that caught that shit.
Yeah.
So I'll start off with the fact that I honestly haven't seen a whole lot from either one of these guys. I've seen a little more of Striker than I have JJ Genovese. But when we seen the reveal of JJ being the one behind everything that we thought TJ was behind, I was in shock, as many people were. And as Yankee was pointing out earlier, I don't think Striker is going to be in the right set of mind to pull out the victory in this one. I think JJ Genovese is just going to pull it out. It's going to be a big win for either guy in the long run. But I just think he can take it.
Can I point something out really quick, though?
Of course.
This is why I do not trust people in Bullet Club t-shirts.
Yeah, no, you can't.
It all started with a kiss in the lips, damn it.
Oh God, it's all gone down south. I mean,
you got to see it like this. Look, you got to see it like this. If you have the opportunity, right, to clinch to your best friend, okay, all the way to the finish line, and then on the finish line is waiting $1 million for you, for whoever makes it to the finish line. Will you trip your best friend for $1 million?
Well, trip is one thing. Would you trip them? Yes, but this is where it gets.
This is just a full shove into a tree.
I'll straight up drop kick the fuck out of my best friend on the fucking throat for $1 million.
Right.
You know what I mean? It is what it is. This is Genovese's time. He's punching his fucking ticket to the top, and JJ Genovese might walk out, victor on this match.
Yeah, I got to agree with you, Yankee. I do think JJ really has the advantage, and this is one match I'm definitely looking forward to see. This is certainly going to be very good. Is everybody good to go to the next match?
Yes, I am. Actually, you know what? If we give me a little bit of a second, I'm trying to get the fan that actually won the contest on Twitter. Try to get him in here to hear his predictions.
By the way, I do apologize to Striker for calling him Smiggy Balls. I shouldn't have. He was known as the Sexual Milk. Smiggy Balls.
I do not apologize for calling him Don West.
Of course, it might be Striker there, but he's
you know what though, Striker's agile. You got to watch out. He's, you know, I got to admit, Striker. You know, you got to watch out for him. He's unique.
Like I said, it's
and he's going to be the sentimental favorite.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I completely agree with that. But this is not about feelings, bro. This is about punching your ticket to the top. And I'm gonna give it to Genovese on this, man. And you all heard him. You all heard what he said. You bought it.
Yeah, that absolutely. Now this is probably the match believe it or not, the one I'm looking forward to the most out of any match here on the show. This is the 6-pack elimination match for the Rising Star Championship. You know, to me, this is very important. This is, to me, as important as the main event. So you got a 6-pack challenge. You got Revan. You got Johnny Reed. And remember, those two have history together at Endgame. You have Samael. You have Owen Devine. You have, Brandon Castelli, my mistake, and Davin James. So Devin James, my bad. Thank you. Justin, you got it. J Joker gave me a typo. Messed me up.
To be fair, that was the one given to me, so that's your own fault.
Yeah, all right.
It was Raven, damn it. It was Raven.
Oh yeah.
What about him? What about Raisin?
What about Raven? That's so Raven.
All right. So let's start with Tony. Tony, what do you think as far as this match is concerned? You know, who's gonna?
And you're starting with me on this match. Wow.
Yeah. I'm gonna start with you.
Hot seat.
I mean, have in mind this is elimination.
Right.
Then you got to play on strategy, and you got to play on endurance.
So if our pick's wrong, do we get eliminated from this call?
There you go.
Yes.
Okay, so the first thing I'm going to mention here is out of these 6 guys, there's one guy that has a history as a Rising Star champion. And that is, of course, Johnny Reed, the former NUW or BW at the time Rising Star champion. So in a way, that could give him a little bit of an advantage to me. And not that you can have much of an advantage in a 6-pack challenge, really, but it's just something he's a little more familiar with, that title anyways. There's so many different combustible elements between these 6 guys that can happen in this match. And it's a pick 'em, if you ask me. Wow. Just looking at the picture, looking at those 6 guys that are in this match, any one of them would be a great guy to have as a first champion. If I got
I just got to point something out real quick. Jack Thomas said it himself. Johnny Reed is a person that has history with Revan, and he also has history with Owen Devine.
True.
Yes, he does.
So I don't know how that's going to play out. You know, Owen Devine did put a L on Johnny's debut.
True.
So how is that going to work out? I don't know how that's going to play out. But go ahead. What were you saying?
Also, being a former Rising Star champion, and to me, that's just going to put more of a target on Johnny Reed's back in a way as well. So hey guys, I can't say who I think is going to get eliminated where, but I think I'm actually going to go with Samael to pick up the win and be the first Rising Star champion out of these guys.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
I just want to welcome real quick. I want to welcome Brandon. He's actually the fan that won the contest on Twitter. He's here to run down the card with us. Thank you for joining us. I appreciate it, man. You are a very lucky man.
Sorry for the late call and everything. I was at school.
Hey, no problem, man. I'm just glad that you're able to make it. Right now, we're talking about the 6-pack challenge. We're going to talk about this now, and then we'll run back the card towards the end of the show, and then you'll give us your predictions. Here.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. Did I miss? I'm sorry. There was some commotion going on at the house. I just wanted to make sure everything was good. What did I miss real quick? Because I just wanted to, because there was something going on to the 61-1.
Well, we got. All right, so we got Brandon. He actually joined the contest on Twitter to actually join us and call the cards and predict with us. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna continue to predict this match here and work around it. And then what we're gonna do is go back towards the end of the show. We'll run back the card, quick run down of the card, and he'll be able to give us his predictions then, of course.
Sounds good. All right. So with this one, now I heard that Tony, you said Samael. You said he was going to be eliminated first?
No, I was saying I think he's going to actually pull out the win in this match.
Oh, that he was going to be victorious. Okay.
Quite the opposite.
He's been on quite a roll in Proving Ground, and he's been looking real good even in DBW and the little bit we've seen in NUW, even if he hasn't picked up the wins. So,
yeah, my fiance just texted me, take off the Gengar hat. And you know what? The Gengar hat, let me tell you something about this hat. Here, right here. This hat was given to me by none other than her. So, you know, that I think.
Jack, you officially owe me $10 at the end of this broadcast. Thank you.
I believe, you know, it's like this Gengar hat, you know, Spencer Lee is right now in the NCAA Wrestling Championship.
I just want to put this to rest. Was that hat given to you by Jay Joker?
No, he was not. This hat was given to me either by my fiance or either my fiance or I believe. Yeah, I really do think my fiance was the one that gave this to me, and that's why I still wear it proud.
I will say,
I just want to point this out. I just want to point this out. Your fiance is actually in the chat right now, and she said, "I did not. I repeat, I did not get you that hat."
Yeah, she did not. Ladies and gentlemen, just so you know, that is
dead.
Ladies and gentlemen, that cute little bunny is not Angelique Stark. Just so you know, that is a different Angelique, and you know, Angelique Stark is a very manipulative woman who has taken control of the UWE. My fiance is a very beautiful woman.
She has enough time to buy Gengar hats.
Hey, gentlemen, Brandon, H2, Yankee, Tony. Let's give a moment of silence to our friend, our beloved colleague, Jack Thomas, as this is his last night on Earth. Please give us a moment of silence.
Yes.
Yeah, unfortunately, you got to deal with Arnold's commentary on UW programming now.
That's okay. We just have to give him a seeing eye dog to get to the arena.
So let's get back on track, guys. Let's get back on track. So we got Tony here saying that Samael is going to win the strap. This is his moment.
Yeah, such a great pick, you know, and one of my favorites to win the match as well, you know, between his appearance, and I was saying this before we got on live, he reminds me so much of a Raven from ECW. You know, he's just got this look to him and this demeanor and this posture that is so, you know, he like I said earlier, reminds me of the Crow, and you guys started laughing at me, but you know, he has that feature of him that is so different. And you know, even wrestling in the kilts, like, you know, to me, like very hardcore, very cult like. You know, I said that about Damon Scar too, but you know, there's something about Samael that really I consider to be the future of backyard wrestling, and I really can see him walking out as the champion as well. Brandon, we're gonna go with you. Who do you see being the favorite to walk out as the Rising Star champion?
Okay, so all 6 competitors, they've all made their name in Proving Ground, and I feel like Johnny Reed or Revan are my 2 picks between those 2. I feel like that would actually be a dream match for me to see those 2 face off. But I personally think Revan will take this. He deserves the championship.
Revan walks out as the Rising Star champion. Wow, that's a different pick. H2.
Man, I'm going to have to agree with Tony here. The King of Ultraviolence is just that, the King of Ultraviolence. And he has been, I mean, he doesn't have all the victories under his belt, but man, he's made a splash and he's gotten a lot of people's attention. And what better way to get more attention than capturing another championship?
Indeed, you know.
I mean, I could definitely agree in that aspect, but this is the way I'm gonna see it. Johnny Reed, the longest Rising Star champion in history and BEW history, the longest. Now he got two of his enemies in one match. He got Revan, Owen Devine, but you see this guy right there? You see Brandon Castelli? This guy right there is I feel like he's a wild card in this match. I feel like he is underlooked. You know, this is Proving Ground became his home. You know what I mean? Proving Ground literally became his home. So for him to be able to be in this match means a lot to him. And I wouldn't even count him out. Honestly, if I have to pick somebody, this is a man that has, I don't want to call him crazy. I don't want to call him mental. But he comes into the fucking ring and he brings a coin and he flips his coin, and whatever it lands on, that's who you're fighting. You're not fighting Brandon Castelli. You could be fighting the ghost of Brandon Castelli, or you're fighting Brandon Castelli. It all depends on how he feels that day. If he feels like he's gonna fuck you up, then you're fighting Ghost. If it feels like he's gonna take it easy on you, you're fighting Castelli. But who is gonna walk into that match? Is it Brandon Castelli or is it the Ghost?
It kind of reminds me a lot of that Harvey Dent Two-Face feature of, like, you know, which side are you gonna get? Are you gonna get the once again, my fiance,
she's going to kill you.
She's trying. No, she said something that, you know, thank you very much. You know, and anyway, so moving on. But like I said, you know, Brandon Castelli has that feature of, you don't know which side you're going to get, the White Knight, or you're going to get the Ghost. Are you going to get that side of him? And are you going to go? And with that, are you going to get a more merciful performance with one? You're going to get an even performance, or are you going to get something a lot worse? That flip of a coin really can be a deciding factor in the situation. Jay Joker, who do you like in this match?
You know, there's the benefits of being this person, and that was to be an outsider. I'm picking Devin James because the characteristics of an outsider are simple. You're looking in. Who knows? He has probably overlooked all three. He's overlooked, actually. I can't count. I'm saying
he's the dark horse.
5 of these. He's the dark horse. You're talking about Brandon Castelli being the wild card Yankee. There is nobody wilder in this situation than Devin James.
I just got to point out the men had the fastest qualifying match I ever seen in history.
That's true.
Yeah, he definitely has. And Devin James is certainly, like we said, is the dark horse. I look at Owen Devine and I see something out of him. I really think he's somebody else that could break out. Johnny Reed, you know, he's the only, you know, the one man that has been a Rising Star champion, and he has history with certain individuals in this match, especially recently at Endgame with Revan, you know, and he came up short. Maybe he wants to prove himself in this and become a Rising Star champion of Proving Grounds as well. However, there's one person out of these 6 individuals that has had a little bit of tenure, and there's this one individual that really wants to make a scene, and he doesn't want to be taken as a joke. And this match right here is his opportunity to win his very first championship in Backyard Wrestling, and to be honest, he's going to seize it. And there's 5 individuals that I see here that are going to lose. And that means we're going to be seeing 5 renditions of the Malachor 5, because the person I see walking out as the Rising Star champion is the Prodigal Knight Revan. You know, I got to agree with Brandon on this one. This could be Revan's opportunity. This could be Revan's time. And I really think that he's going to come into the UWE season white hot. But a lot of the factors that come with that are going to be caused by the things you see in between Endgame and the next episode of UWE. And one of those things is this very event. This is big. This is a huge opportunity, if not one of the biggest opportunities in Revan's career. 6-pack elimination match for the Rising Star title, 5 Malachor 5s, 5 eliminations, and I believe Revan is not only going to – and another prediction I have is that he will be the one that eliminates Johnny Reed. He's going to go 2-0 with him. And I think Revan is going to get the job done. Revan's going to be the first ever Rising Star champion for Proving Ground.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I could see it your way, but I also see it this way. The man, he's in there with 5 more people that won the same thing, the same way, or even more. You know what I mean? You have guys like Samael, that is like one of the craziest fucking guys I ever met. You know what I mean? And this is a guy that I travel with too. You know what I mean? I travel with Samael. I've hung out with Samael, part of the Murder Club. You know, so this man, you know, he's no joke. He's no joke. And then you got Devin. Then you got Devin James. You know, he was at one point he was 1/3 of the Outcast. You know, then you have Owen Devine. Owen Devine ran his own federation. He ran his own company. So he knows what it is to be in the spotlight. You know what I mean? So, I mean, if is Revan going to walk out, you know, victor, or is the other 5 competitors that are a little bit hungrier are going to walk out victors? You know what I'm saying?
I totally see what you're saying. I just feel like no one is going to be hungrier than the Prodigal Knight himself. However, I will say this. If there's one thing, and I will say this, if there's one thing that can match up to the Malachor 5, and if there's one move that can make the difference in this match, it's the Scarlet.
No pun intended.
It's the Scarlet Ripper. I know. I was waiting for you to say that. It's the Scarlet Ripper, and that move is devastating. It's deadly and it's fast. You gotta watch out for that. And Samael can really do some damage with that Scarlet Ripper.
Yeah, you're right. You're 100% right. But let me just point this out there. Nobody has ever kicked out of the 450 splash from Johnny Reed.
That is very true. You got to look at all the factors of these finishing moves. You know, you got to look at the factor of that flip of that damn coin, like you said, the ghost. Or are we going to see Brandon Castelli? Are we going to see Jay Joker's pick win it? Are we going to see Devin James? Are we going to see Johnny Reed? You know, are we going to see a Reed ET? You know, there's a lot of factors that go into this.
Listen, I tell you what, if I'm going to choose Brandon Castelli on this one, and that's because if Brandon Castelli locks in that ghost mutilation of him, that sadistic submission move called the ghost mutilation, and you guys haven't seen it, and that's for a damn reason. You guys need to do some homework on him. This submission move is a modified version of the cow mutilation, and it is deadly. So if he hits this, we could be seeing first ever Rising Star champion.
Well, if he hits it, that's one thing, but he's got to hit it 5 times to eliminate, you know, unless it's down to him and the final man, you got to eliminate 5 men. You got to look at that in that way. Am I right?
I mean, you're right and you're wrong. You're right on the aspect that there's another 5 man, but you also got to realize this is a free-for-all. He doesn't have to eliminate everybody. He could eliminate one and win the championship.
You know what's funny? I was testing, and I was waiting for people to say right, and I was going to say that. Because sometimes, let someone else make the sacrifice. Let someone else make the pinfall. Sit back, analyze the situation, and then capitalize when the time is right. And I feel like, you know, Brandon Castelli, you know, I feel like that's something he could do. I think that's something Devin could do. Johnny's got experience. He could pull that off. Revan has a fire in him, but he's also a strategist. Mm-hmm. So he knows he also knows when to hold back. Samael, I don't know. I feel like he's a little out. You know, I feel like when that bell rings, he don't have a soul. He's just kind of, you know. I remember what we saw at Reunion. You know, he was in the ring with Alva and the FTC representing the Murder Club, and he did a damn good job. So
Samael has, once that bell ring, he has a personal agenda, and he does whatever the fuck he wants when he wants. That's just how he works.
And I think the fact that this is a 6-pack challenge is going to work in his benefit because there's pretty much no rules in the match other than you got to eliminate your opponent.
Complete anarchy. And
yep.
Complete anarchy.
King of Ultraviolence is not just a nickname for Samael. So
yeah,
it's a way to life. It's a way to life with him.
Right.
Oh yeah. So, you know, anybody can walk out as the Rising Star champion, and you know, either way, it looks like we're in for a show. Are we good to move to the next match?
So let's go back on this picks. I'm picking Brandon Castelli.
You're going with Brandon Castelli. Yeah. And from Brandon to Brandon, who do you got? You said you had Revan?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, so Brandon's got Revan taking the win. H2.
I'm gonna stick to my guns and say that the king of ultraviolence prevails.
The king gets his crown of the Rising Star Jewel. Jay Joker, you said Devin James. Are you sticking with that
Yes,
pick?
I did, and if it does happen, I get to point it in everybody's face and said, "I told you so."
The outsider.
Oh man.
The outsider gets the key. Tony Tiger, I believe you said Samael with the Scarlet Ripper.
Yes, indeed.
And then I believe that we would see the Prodigal Knight deliver that Malcor 5 and win himself his first title. That seems like some pretty good, legitimate picks. And you know what? With our picks, I think that's going to make Johnny Reed and Owen Devine really step it up. Because there's only 2 individuals. You think about it, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people. We could have each picked a different person, and everybody would have got a pick. But the thing is that 2 people here picked Samael, and 2 people picked Revan. Reed and Owen Devine are right now, doesn't look like many people see them as winning the match. That's going to make them step up their game. So, that's a factor. That's a big factor into this match.
And you know what it is too, like, you got to realize these new guys are hungrier. You know what I mean? You got Johnny and Owen Devine that's been there for a while now. So these new guys are really hungry and they want to get their hands on some gold. You know what I mean?
That's what Proving Ground is all about. All right. Let's take it to the next match. No. Now it's going to get interesting.
Oh, yes.
The
You
good
just my yum.
I've been waiting for this all night, man.
KC James,
Yes.
ladies and gentlemen. I mean, if there is anybody that is breaking out here in 2018, this is my prediction. My prediction is that this man, KC James, is going to be the breakout star of 2018. And in 2019, he will be BYW Superstar of the Year. The good vibes. All right.
Hey, excuse me, Jack. Can I ask Brandon a question?
Absolutely.
Are you a yum yucker?
A what?
Are you a yum yucker? Because Casey James doesn't like yum yuckers.
Do you yum on his jock, man? Shit.
Oh my God. So, I'm gonna.
So, in other words, let me rephrase this. All right, let me rephrase for people that don't know what the fuck is. What is it? Say it again, Joker. What is it?
A yum yucker.
A yum yucker. All right, let me just rephrase it. That means very clearly a dick sucker. All right. Don't kiss this man's ass. Don't suck on his dick to get promotion. You know what I mean? That's basically what he's telling you, man. And now he comes here to stand your ground, and God fucking be knows to this man. He puts out the fucking man challenge. I don't know what the fuck the man challenge is. It could be anything. It could be a fucking beer drinking contest. It could be a fucking see who sleeps with so many prostitutes. I don't fucking know. But I tell you what, whatever the hell it is, I'm in for it because you can never predict. You can never predict KC James. I've traveled with this man. I have spent, I've been in hotel rooms with this man when he's partying. I know what he gives, man. And this guy, he will tell you one thing. You get to that place, and it's a fucking completely different thing. So,
since Casey's showing up with punch, is he even as much over as any of the other guys, or?
Listen, KC James is he doesn't. You can't even say that he's over because he puts himself over enough. You know what I mean? He puts himself over enough. This man is something that if you hit him up on Twitter, dude, he'll shut you down real quick. Like he has zero chill, and not to mention, right now he's the current DBW champion.
World champion, yeah.
Well, it's funny.
Don't let you forget it.
Yeah, absolutely. You better not. And the thing is that there's a reason why this is called the Man Challenge. And, this goes way back about a month or two ago. My beautiful fiance shows me a song and says, "Oh, this reminds me of you in a way." And then I hear a song, and it's a very catchy song. And then all of a sudden, I'm watching, you know, Casey James come out to the ring, and it's the very same song. It's "The Man" by the Killers, and this song just fit perfectly for this individual. A theme song really can make or break a character, and this certainly makes a character that much more special.
Bro, I'm guilty. I have his theme song on my cell phone. I'm guilty.
Oh, me too.
I have
Me
to.
too.
I have
Me
to have
too.
that fucking theme. Listen, Casey James has one of the best theme songs out there. That fucking song is on my head. I'll be on my. I listen. Personal life, real quick. You know, alert. I do medical transfer for a living, and I'm constantly in a vehicle. My vehicle is my office, and I have his fucking theme song on my playlist, and my customers be fucking dancing to that shit. So,
Yep.
hey, that man has the fucking theme song. I'm pretty sure that, you know, knowing Casey James, he fucking changes theme songs more than he changes his own life. So I'm pretty sure that I wouldn't be surprised if 2018 brings another theme song.
I hope not. I really, and you know, and then you bring up, you know, from that devastating maneuver. You know, but I'll say it a little bit because you know what, it is going to lay out my prediction. You know, we're gonna, you know, he wants to call out an open challenge, and he wants to see who's going to come out and who's going to be on the receiving end of, dare I say it, and I quote, Lady Gaga naked while eating pizza. So you know that is the name.
Wait a minute, that's the name of his finishing move.
That's the name of his finishing move.
Lady Gaga naked eating pizza. That's his finishing move.
Yes.
Now, what is this? What is that? I don't even know who came up with that.
How he comes up with those things?
This is the fucking thing that I'm telling you about Casey James. You never know what the fuck he's gonna say. You never know.
You said you can't predict Casey James, but the one thing we do have to predict somehow is who's gonna answer the challenge.
Can I go first?
Yes, you can.
I feel personally that it might be a big name because he did this before. He did an open challenge before, and at that time it wasn't called the men's challenge. He did an open challenge before, and fucking Dustin Reagan came out.
And destroyed him.
And Dustin Reagan literally stretched this man to not return. Like Phoenix, it used to be Phoenix, and then it was no more. Like, you know what I mean? He decided to quit. And, you know, I talked to him a lot before he actually made a comeback and say, all right, look, I'm coming back. But, you know, this is a man that reinvented himself and found success on this new character and this new person that he is, this new persona. And he lives his gimmick, okay? So this guy having a man challenge, he's putting himself in danger because if Dustin Reagan decides to come back to Proving Ground and answer this challenge one more time, I don't know if Casey's going to stand.
Is your prediction for the challenge Dustin Reagan?
Man, it's hard to pinpoint, but I'm just pointing out that Dustin Reagan did answer one of his open challenge before, and it cost him his career. It cost him his career as Phoenix. So, you know, I don't know, I mean, who's going to answer it, but if I could pick somebody, it's got to be Dustin Reagan.
Wow, you're going with Dustin Reagan himself. I was about to go to Brandon, but he ain't here right now, so we're gonna.
Well, tonight.
Cut. So.
Cut.
All right. So with that, we're gonna go to our next. We're gonna have to go with our next best option, not our first option, but we're gonna have to go with something, you know, not as exciting as our number one fan, but we're gonna have to settle in for second place. So Jay Joker, I gotta ask you something.
There's always a plan B.
You bought it. Y'all bought it.
I didn't sell out. I bought in.
Oh God! So with that, Jay Joker, who do you think? Oh, never mind. Hold on, Brandon. I gotta.
There you go. Brandon, what happened, man?
Somebody
You got
remember
too
me. Oh,
listen, it's fucking hangout. It happens all the time, bro. Get used to it.
All right, Brandon, we were gonna go to Justin because you know you were kind of our first option. We wanted to get your option first. He was kind of like a
I
backup
quit.
but as soon as he was gonna give his prediction, you showed up. So we're gonna go with you first.
So I predicted Dustin Reagan. Brandon, who do you predict that is going to answer this challenge?
well, the last time I saw KC, well, not the last time I saw him, but I remember him versus Jason Atlas, the one-man mosh pit,
Mm-hmm.
and he defeated Jason.
Okay.
I kind of feel Jason wants some redemption in KC because
Oh,
maybe he would come back and may want some redemption, but there's a lot of guys in the BYW world and the BYW community, and that's one of my picks. But if I had to pick a second one, I would have to say a mystery opponent that nobody will ever see coming to Proving Ground.
Actually, you know what? I like the fact that he said Atlas because they had the first ever hardcore match on Proving Ground.
Yes, they did.
And if you remember correctly, fucking KC did not beat him clean, okay? He fucking used the ring post, handcuffed him to the ring post, and pinned him by force. So can he be looking for redemption? Especially Jason Atlas took a fucking stapler to the forehead.
Right?
Jason is one tough son of a bitch. I feel like if he comes back and he accepts the open challenge, and I bet you he will beat KC James clean.
Yeah, you know, once again, I got to agree with Brandon again for the second time of the night. My prediction is Jason Atlas, and there's no question about it. It's going to be Jason Atlas. You know, not only because of the history they shared on Proving Ground, but obviously there's some sort of unfinished business there. If Jason Atlas is going to eliminate KC James from the Reunion Rumble, there's some sort of vendetta there. Especially, you know what? I got to take that back. I don't think it's going to be the persona of Jason Atlas. I think we're going to see the disease. We're gonna see the DBW champion versus the UWE Underground champion, and it's going to be the disease versus the good vibes, and it's going to happen at Stand Your Ground. And I certainly hope it's on Stand Your Ground, because if it's not, I can't imagine where else it would be. So I'm gonna say that it's gonna be Jason Atlas that goes to Stand Your Ground to face KC James.
What about the other guys in the roster? You know what I mean? The guys lower in the roster. You know, who will want to step up? I mean, if anybody lower, you got guys like Chaos, you got guys like Mysterion, you got guys like Diablo, you know, all these guys also wants to move up on the ladder. So any of them could accept the challenge as well. Let's not forget, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I'm still picking Dustin Reagan.
You're still gonna go with Dustin Reagan. Okay.
I'm gonna go with Dustin.
Justin, who do you think is? Oh wait, I almost forgot. I'm sorry, Tony. Who do you think is going to answer the challenge?
All right. So first of all, I'll say this. I agree that Jason is going to want payback at some point in time. However, I don't think this is the point that he wants to do it. I think when he decides he wants to get his revenge against KC, Casey's going to know it's coming. I don't think it's going to be just answering an open challenge. I just don't see that happening. But I do agree it'll be the disease that will come after KC at some point. I'm going to go with another guy from the Proving Ground roster that we haven't really seen a whole lot of, but the little bit that we have seen has been kind of impressive. If I remember correctly, the last time we seen him was in a triple threat match for the Proving Ground Championship. That being one Evan Blake.
Wow.
He's one guy that we haven't really seen a whole lot of recently. And that triple threat match that he had with Johnny Reed and Victor Van Pelt that turned out to be a Proving Ground Championship match was a very good match that all three of them put on, but we haven't seen him since. So, I mean,
yeah,
I could see him.
Listen, Evan Blake has a fan base, bro. Like, right. I get messages all the time. Where is Evan? What happened to Evan? Well, you know, I'm here to say that Evan, you know, he's doing great, but he's been dealing with some personal issues that he has off K. But I could see it.
All right, and for our next prediction, JH2. What do you want to think about? Who do you think is going to answer the challenge?
All right, so I pay a lot of attention to detail. I predict the ending of movies frequently before they happen.
I predicted fucking
turns-
before it fucking happened.
I have been going through.
He predicts movie. He turns the lightsaber.
So, with this being said, I've been paying.
You
I'm
predicted that
sorry
the
for the-
Titanic would
I'm
sink.
trying to get going. My charger's like not working at all, and I don't think I'll be able to finish the pre-show with you guys.
All
All
right.
right, Brendan. Well, good having you, man. Thank you for showing up. Hand of applause. Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Definitely. Always great to have our fans. You know.
Have a good day,
All
guys.
right. All right. Have a good evening.
Thank
man.
you. You have a good evening. Good night, man. Take care.
Yep.
Stay in school.
Stay in school. Yeah, man. Well, you know, also,
yeah,
wait,
H2 predicted that the Titanic would sink.
I did.
And he
Yeah,
did,
he's too.
he did
So-
predict in the movie 2012 that the world wouldn't end.
I
I mean,
actually
he did
refused to watch
predict
that
it.
movie until 2013, but I digress.
He did predict it. He did predict it that Luke was Darth Vader's son. He did.
Anyway,
No, to be fair, he said nephew first.
No.
All right.
all right. So I have been doing a lot of research and watching a lot of Twitter feed, which is why I 100% predict that without a shadow of a doubt, the person that will be challenging Casey James in the Man Challenge is none other than Avery Hoke.
Oh,
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 yeah.
Out of sight, out of
Wow.
mind.
I will fucking lose my shits if that happens. I will.
Avery, yum yucker.
H2, man. I was
Avery?
actually getting my hopes up. I was looking forward to that, and you dropped that name. Oh
It's
my,
gonna happen, man.
oh my goodness.
The boss of the sticks versus the man.
What?
It should be headlining WrestleMania.
Yo, if he hits Casey with the boss drop kick, with the Avery drop kick, it's over. It's over. With the stiff knee?
I was gonna say, man, the stiff knee.
If it's Casey
gotta
with the
watch
stiff
out.
knee,
You got to watch out for that clothesline from Hoke. You got to watch out for that, and you know. But I just can't see it. I can't.
listen.
You think Avery's going to accept the challenge? I don't even know how Avery knows how to get to Newburgh. You gotta he's never been outside a 10-mile radius.
He's
you know?
gonna ride with Stephanie all the way down
Oh,
to Newburgh and hit a stiff knee.
oh,
And
please.
He's gonna hit a stiff knee and then post it on Twitter, man.
Yep.
Oh.
All right.
Shout out to Avery, man. I fucking love Avery Hook, man. He's
Avery
awesome.
I am a
Can't
The
wait
legend.
for the-
fan.
I can't wait for the picture of him with the Proving Ground roster after the.
All right, so we got my pick. We got my pick, which was none other than Jason Atlas. We got Yankees pick, which is none other than Dustin Reagan. We got Tony's
Dustin
pick,
Reagan.
which I believe was Evan Blake.
Yep.
And we got H2's pick, which was Avery Hoke. So with that,
Whoa.
we have all of our predictions for that. So like that. Just kidding.
Moving on. Moving on.
All right, Jay, what do you got, man? And if you say anything worse than Avery Hook, I'm gonna cut you off so bad. All right, no, but all seriously,
There is one person,
Jay
I
Joker
feel like
designs.
Casey James, has disappointed. Which I'm a huge Casey James fan, but I know that there's one person that's really pissed off with how he was disposed of, and that is Bone Daddy.
Oh yeah. You imagine?
Yeah, I remember seeing Casey James, and I quote, saying that he snorted Bone Daddy's ashes off a hooker's ass.
Well, you got to realize, Bone Daddy, he's not a person. He's literally a voodoo. Like, this man is magic.
Yes.
So,
But
if-
that gives
Bone
the
Daddy
face of
shows
point,
up, son.
point Bone Daddy is going to fight Casey James because I think Bone Daddy is jealous of the good vibes that Casey is having.
Oh my god! I just realized something. I think I have two other picks. One of them is Paul Peterson, but I think there's one other that I just realized.
What?
Paul was
Paul
one, but
Peterson.
but I think he's kind of
wait.
like
And you're saying you're gonna cut me off if I said a name worse than Avery Hogue?
but he's like my least like he's like out of the three. Out of
I like Paul, but
Paul Peters a good bump.
Next, you're gonna tell me Alan Styles Reed's gonna come out. Holy shit!
There's somebody else right now, and
who the fuck is that?
But this Paul's kind of. I have 3 picks. Atlas is my first. Paul's my third. But this other individual,
When can we pull out second and third picks? When was that card established?
Well,
man.
Because I forgot something.
I pick everybody for the 6-pack challenge. I win no matter what.
I forgot something because I just realized something, and also
I just picked
Twitter.
the whole NUW, VTW, UWE, NWF Adrenaline roster. I win no matter what.
There is another individual that I just realized, and this.
All right, look, I swear to God, I'm sorry to bring up. I swear to God, if Phoenix come back, I'm done. I'm fucking.
No, it's not Phoenix.
No. To be fair, Dustin aligned his chakras by stretching them out. So
now, what I think it's going to be, this individual has been on the hunt, and he's done just about everything in his career. And
not Mike Hunt.
The only thing he has yet to do is become the one.
Mike Hunt.
It's not Mike Hunt. And the thing is, it's funny that that's a name because I feel like it's a person who thinks he has one. And my other prediction is the Freak Show Lips. And here's why. Because this individual has done everything in his career, and now he wants to become a world champion. He wants to become a heavyweight champion. He wants to become a heavyweight champion. So I think
beating a world heavyweight champion, beating Casey James will not benefit Lips for the simple fact that KC is not putting his title on the line.
But now that's the thing.
Yeah, but I could see the point though.
It's not only that, but with Lips coming out, Lips is the master of the mind game. This is a guy that's toyed with the minds of Novin. Imagine in some twisted way if he's able to contort his mind and seduce him into some ideal to where he does put the title on the line. He does something that pisses off Casey James to the level where Casey wants to fight him, and the only way, no, if you're going to want a piece of me, you need the title on the line, and that may happen. I don't know. We may see a championship match. The DBW title might get defended on this episode if Lips is the one that answers the challenge. Is he my number 1 pick? No, my number 1 pick is Jason Atlas. But I would not be surprised if we hear that damn beat go off and you see that Freak Show make his way into the Proving Ground Arena for the very first time.
That would be awesome.
Yankee, can I have a backup option as well?
Okay. Go ahead.
The Winnipeg Warrior.
All right, moving on. Moving on. I don't even know that name. Moving on.
Actually, my backup choice is 3 words. Tony, tie me dong.
Yeah, and my pick is James Ellsworth. All right, so we're gonna.
I considered it, man. I looked into it.
You may never know.
All right, so
he is the man.
Let's yeah, he's the man with 2 hands that has a fighting chance or whatever that is.
Also the intergender champion.
Anyway, so let's move on. Everybody's good with this one? All right.
Yeah, I'm moving on.
All right, we're moving on to the main
event. Diamond versus Sauce.
Yeah. This is Mike Perillo versus Victor Van Pelt, and it's for the Proving Ground Championship. All right.
I just want to say something real quick. Mike Perillo has reinvented himself from what he used to be. And this man is on fire.
That he is.
He's not Ustalo.
That he is.
No pun intended.
We're gonna kick it off with H2. What do you think? Who's walking out as the Proving Ground champion?
Well, the man that I think is going to walk out with the Proving Ground Championship has many nicknames. I believe that the winner of this match will be the diamond of the industry, the 24-karat man, the bank account cleaner, the king of dollar style, the OG of $1,000,000, and of course, your mother's favorite superstar.
Wow.
Victor Van
He
Pelt.
nailed every line.
Wow.
You know what?
Well, my mother doesn't watch wrestling, so.
Well, you know what, H2, there's a little thing, you know, when you nail something like that, you can perfect the character. You know, there's this little event coming up in October. It's called New York Comic-Con. If you want to cosplay as Victor Van Pelt, I believe you can nail it.
Just please don't wear tights as short as him. I
No,
don't
I'm a
want to. I
ginger.
don't want
I
to crop
couldn't
you
do it.
from a, I
Nobody
don't want
loves
to
a
crop
ginger.
you up from the torso up like I have to do with Victor.
Victor Van Pelt. You know, you got this man wrestled Kevin Shaw best in the yard. You know, and now he's the Proving Ground champion, and really has made a name for himself. And now Mike Perillo has reinvented himself, and it's going to be kind of, is it going to be the constant or is it going to be the dynamic? Jay Joker, who's walking out as the Proving Ground champion?
Wow.
all right. I already know. He's picking Victor.
Yeah. And nothing against Perillo, but I feel like there's something to Victor at this moment, or I don't know if it's going to be desperation or it's going to be completely tearing out plays in the playbook we've never seen before. But I do have a feeling he's going to make us say, wow, for a reason.
There you go.
Hey, look, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if Mike Perillo walks out the new Proving Ground champion. And I'm gonna tell you why. Mike Perillo saw his opportunity. He found out that Paul Peterson got injured and fired. Released due to his injuries. He found this out and he wanted in. You know what I mean? He wanted to do whatever it took to make it to where he's at now. So he's a guy that knows Victor's games. He's seen Victor prior. He knows how Victor works. Every time that Victor tries something, he counters it. Even in the confrontation, even in the face-to-face, every time Victor says something, he countered it. Victor was so frustrated that Mike Perillo had everything to say at all his comments that he even elbowed his damn Christmas sweater.
How rude.
Not that one. You know, he wore that sweater when the murder, if I recall, that's the same sweater he wore when everyone else was in Murder Club shirts. Wow, what a shame. So, you know, I was actually going to go to you last, but you really think, you know, you got it, that Mike Perillo's walking out as the champ.
Mike Perillo all the way.
Tony,
it's time to make sauce, man.
Tony,
Now,
what do you think?
Now, having a verbal confrontation is one thing, but correct me if I'm wrong here. In Proving Ground, Victor Van Pelt is undefeated, is he not?
Yes.
Well,
yes, but
it hasn't
every
been pinned.
streak has a man that could break it. So
it's true. However, in my opinion, I don't see Mike Perillo being that person to do it. Nothing against Mike Perillo. He's been incredible for what.
Wait. Let me pause you real quick. I just realized something. Victor Van Pelt has been pinned.
Has he?
Yes, by Paul Peterson.
Yep.
Oh yes,
he was pinned by Paul Peterson for Paul to win the Proving Ground Championship.
He doesn't exist.
True.
He doesn't. He's never here.
He's never here.
But
you
win the Proving Ground Championship, he hasn't been pinned or submitted. And
yes, you're right.
In my opinion, even you look back, as I mentioned earlier, that triple threat match that Victor Van Pelt was in recently. I don't remember, it was episode 4, episode 5, whichever it was. He didn't have to put the Proving Ground. Chose to put the Proving Ground Championship on the line in that match. So to me, Victor is proving that he can be a fighting champion for one, and I think in the long run, I just don't. Those two guys couldn't take the title off of him. I don't see Mike Perillo taking it off of him here either.
Yeah, this one's got me stumped too. You know, kind of like the I look back at the other matches, and I think JJ Genovese has got it, by a landslide. I think Revan's got it by a landslide. I think the match before, I'm very certain it's going to be Jason Atlas. And the first match, I have Damon Scar by a landslide. There's two matches where I'm pretty stumped on, and it's the Ustalo Hellhound match, and it's this one. This one, honestly, is a little bit tougher to figure out, because I will say that I feel like one's overconfidence will lead to one's pride will lead before the fall. The question is it going to be Perillo's or is it going to be Van Pelt's? Van Pelt has got a massive ego. And more importantly, he's a showman. He's a big time showman, but also at the same time, he's a player. He's one of the main players. Perillo might see this as his opportunity to stand his ground. And, it would be an amazing moment for Mike Perillo, but is Van Pelt's time as the champion up? That's the question. And my answer to that is yes. I think Mike Perillo is going to walk out of this as the new Proving Ground champion at Stand Your Ground. Something's going to happen. Something's going to turn south. And one way or another, whether it's by some means of foul play gone wrong, one way or another, I think this is the first ever live spectacular for Proving Ground. And for that matter, I feel like there's going to be a change in the air. There's the winds of change, if you will. And I think the sauce is going to be splattered all over that title. And Stand Your Ground is going to fade to black with Mike Perillo as the new Proving Ground champion. Joker, for the love of God,
Sorry.
He's Mike Perillo. He's not Lips.
It's Paige all over again.
Oh no.
Oh no. I do not condone the use of that.
Don't sue me, everybody.
No, then you have to buy a new title.
Well, let's put it like this: he's not Lips. What I mean is that he's going to raise that title tall, and the thing is that Mike Perillo is going to be the one that walks out as the new Proving Ground champion.
Oh, I agree. 100%.
And he's an underdog. He's a dark horse, and I feel like no one's going to see it happening. And what a way to end this show than to shock the world and have the diamond of the industry lose his diamond jewel. And that's.
And I just want to point this out. Mike Perillo is a man that had to reinvent himself to come back. Because if you remember, Mike Perillo used to be. Back in the days in BEW, when BEW was around, the first couple of episodes, Mike Perillo was there. He lived in the shadows of Jordan Oliver. You know what I mean? So for him to be able to break out of that and reinvent himself and show up at Proving Ground to show that he was, part of, if not as good as Jordan Oliver, it takes a lot of guts. And you know what I mean? I feel like
it's time to see if he's up to the measuring stick. There's a lot of times in the UWE to see, was this individual that changed himself up to the measuring stick? And a lot of those times, the measuring stick was a showman by the name of Cameron Jackson. And many times, that person that tried to measure up would defeat Cameron Jackson. Rick Rios would defeat Cameron Jackson to become the world's heavyweight champion. Everett Creed would do that very same thing. Fat Jack would defeat Cam Jackson to become the champion. So, and the reason is that a showman is the perfect person to show that you have changed and you are now ready for the big leagues. And I think, it's like, oh, are you ready to step up to the measuring stick? I'll tell you right now, if the Proving Ground champion was a Rick Rios, if the Proving Ground champion was a Dirty DeChico or a Dustin Reagan or someone that can prove, that he knows what he's doing and someone that's more dominant in the ring, then I'd say Perillo's going to come up short. But I just think with the showmanship, Van Pelt's going to get a little too cocky and it's going to cost him, and it's going to cost him big. And I think, and that's where Perillo's going to capitalize. So with that, man, it's going to be an awesome show, you guys. Yankee, do you have any updates as far as when we're gonna witness this grand event?
Yes, Proving Ground, Stand Your Ground is going to come to you live right here in this channel. Well, actually, exclusive in the NUW channel. It's going to be Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. And all the matches that we talked about today are going to be there. You don't want to miss it. You want to tune in. You got to watch this because this is where we're going to close the season and start the brand new season. There's going to be a lot of new things that are going to be with Proving Ground. There's going to be a lot of upgrades that you're going to see. So definitely do not want to miss this show right here. Is that basically the show that is going to make the new season pop. This is where everything starts right here. This end of the season is going to set up for the next season. So Friday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, NUW channel. Do not miss it.
Yankee, real quick before we sign off. We said that we wanted to be originally when we got on the air. We wanted to see about 45 minutes.
That's negative.
Cut.
2 hours later. 2 hours later, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank H2. I want to thank J Joker Designs. I want to thank Tony Tiger and GM of Proving Ground Yankee here. This Friday night, 8 o'clock Eastern time, witness the first ever live spectacular of Proving Ground presents Stand Your Ground. And you heard the matches here tonight. You've heard the predictions from some experts here at Backyard Wrestling, including myself, Jack Thomas. If you want to hear more of myself, UWE is filming their return season this Sunday, March 25th.
And there's Sunday at the Dinsdale Superdome.
And for those that have stayed, here's your little reward. The first event for UWE is Dead Man's Hand. So, but right now, this Friday night, make sure to tune in to Stand Your Ground because this is truly the future.
Now keep in mind, guys, that this channel, make sure you subscribe to this channel as well because NUW will air the first episode, and then whatever you want to catch up on, you come to this channel. This channel is exclusive for pre-shows, interviews, talk shows, everything right in this channel. So make sure you subscribe because there is some stuff that are not going to air on that channel. It's going to air just here, So make sure you subscribe to this channel. Make sure you subscribe to NUW. And after this show airs in NUW, it will come right to this channel. So just be sure that you subscribe to both channels and, ring that little bell so you get all the notifications and stuff.
Sounds good. All right. With that, guys, we thank you. Is there any final words that anyone wants to say? All right.
I stood my ground tonight.
I think we're good. I think we're good. Other predictions were made. Now let's see what happens, man.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning in, and we will see you Friday night for Proving Ground presents Stand Your Ground. This is the voice of UW Jack Thomas signing out. Have a good night, everybody.